Alright, good morning guys. Mike Scott back with you out here in Mansfield, Ohio. I'm with the Mansfield guys. It's going to be a little bit noisy here, especially when I walk into this building where the truck's backed into. And what I want to do here is a quick follow-up video on some hydraulic scales. So let me work my way over here into this building. And what we are dealing with are a couple of hoppers. And right over, there's Ron, and right over here is a lime hopper. This hopper stores lime from this pile right here. It's placed into this hopper and then sent into the plant. Lime's usually used as a fluxing agent when they make steel. What we're interested in here are the hydraulic load cells. Now, when we shot the video series down in Columbus on the truck scale, the load cells were a lot larger. These are a smaller load cell, but it's the same concept. And I know these things are a little bit dirty. It's the same concept as the load cells that we shot down there in Columbus. Okay, so right in here is one of the load cells, and you can see, let me get my finger in here, the hydraulic line. And it is feeding over to that box right there that has the hydraulic totalizer in it. You can see right here is the checking assembly. So it's basically a solid block of metal that sits down inside of this box and it checks the scale. So there's 3 hoppers here. We just showed you the lime hopper, and then there's 2 more that we're going to be dealing with here shortly. The totalizers come in to these Pennsylvanias, and then the Pennsylvanias feed 4 to 20 milliamp over here to the PLC cabinet, and then the PLC controls the alarms and it controls the feed into the plant and so forth and so on. Now, what Mansfield does here, let me pan around, is that they stockpile parts out here for their customer. Okay, that way if the customer goes down in the middle of the night, they can quickly get them back up and running. So what they carry out here is this box right here is a scoreboard, and then this box here is actually a complete totalizer. And then over on this shelf here are some various other pieces, parts. Some of those are not scale parts, but most of the stuff down in the boxes is scale parts. And there's actually some rubber boots right here for the load cells, because they do break quite a few of those, and there's a couple load cells for their rail scale. And then over here is a box of old pieces parts that they keep just in case there's a catastrophic failure and they need to scrounge some stuff up. Okay, now I know this one is going to be noisy in the background, so I'm going to try to talk loudly. This is the second one hopper out here of the 3 that Mansfield is getting ready to test, and this hopper is also hydraulic. Let me get in here a little bit for you, and if you look right there is one of the hydraulic load cells, and that load cell there is about the same size as the one or the ones that were under the truck scale down there in Columbus. And there's 4 of them. You can there's one inside of this box right here, you can barely see it, and they all plumb into this cabinet. Let me get in here through one of these holes. Right there is the totalizer, and I might be able to get around here to the side and take a look at it. Never mind, I got her blocked off. You can see some of the things that they have to watch for is, if you look right there is a large checking bolt. There's there's one here and one there, and that's in each corner, so they have to make sure that those are not bound up. And then make sure the boots and everything on the scale are not, or on the load cells, are not cracked. And then what Mansfield's getting ready to do as soon as they get clearance to get in this cage is they're going to spot 4,000 pounds in there, and they are going to hook up to these eyelets and pick that weight up. Now this bin currently has about 40,000 pounds of material, so all they're doing is essentially what you might call a span test or a build-up test. Okay, another thing, another scale I want to show you out here. This big, basically, I guess the easiest way to describe this scale would be a scrap charging scale. So they'll set a charging bucket on here, and then they'll fill it with scrap. And this also is a hydraulic scale, and this thing has some pretty big load cells. And I'm going to get in here so we can take a look at this thing right here. And I got Ron standing here. Ron, you know what the capacity in that load cell is?
Yeah, these are 200,000 pound load cells. They're 200 RR for railroad scales.
Okay, so 800,000 pound worth of load cells under this thing. And where is the totalizer on this scale?
Okay, so each of these has the 4 lines that run in to the center of the scale.
Okay, let me get up there.
And the totalizer is located under these 1.5-inch plates, and it's mounted to a stand.
And so how do you get in there to work on that totalizer?
So what we have is they have a mag crane here, and they have to mag each of these off, set them off on the side, and then you just stand in the pit, which it's only about 2 feet deep.
And then you can work on the totalizer. And then
pretty close to the floor.
Where's the indicator at for this thing?
The indicator is actually clear over. See that scoreboard clear over there?
Yeah, I don't think I can zoom in on it, but I see.
It's hardwired in conduit, over to what they call a shear building. The indicator's in there, and then there's antennas on top of that, and it's transmitted to the office, which is clear on the other side.
Way over.
Blue building there, so it's transmitted to there. To
blue building you can barely see.
To a computer.
Alright, so let me zoom out on this. And you can see the 4 plates that Ron's talking about, and those are the plates that have to be pulled up. And then the totalizer is right about the tip of my finger underneath of there. Okay.